100 men versus respecting a woman they don't find attractive. 100 men versus helping another person without trying to feel like an authority or a hero in that moment. 100 men versus not acting jealous and upset when kids, pets, and old people are receiving more care and attention than they are. Sir, you are at war with your own invisible demons and are losing. What makes you think you could fight a gorilla?
Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video for you here today from the Modern King about a fiance who tries to get her man to pay for the dinner of 8 of her friends. That is absolutely insane. You know, there are so many instances of this, guys, where like women will just feel entitled to a man's resources. You know, they'll be a single mother. They'll rock up on the first date with their kids, or they'll just start bringing all of their friends, insisting that you pay for everything. And then these same women wonder why men walk away from dating, and they're like, oh, where are all of the good men when they're 35? Completely ridiculous. Today's video was suggested to me by Hadan the Mummy. I'm going to leave both of their channels linked in the pinned comments, so make sure you go and subscribe to these guys. Don't forget to leave your own comments, and let's jump right into the video.
Do you think a man is less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
I do think so. Me and my roommates talk about it all the time, and that's one of the qualities we look for in a man, just to know that we can be safe and protected with them.
Is a woman less of a woman if she can't cook a meal from scratch?
No.
Why is there a difference?
Because I don't know how to cook a meal from scratch, so...
What if a man doesn't know how to change a tire?
Well, I guess it's okay, but if a man wants a woman who can cook, then they shouldn't date me.
Oftentimes, these modern women don't have skills that a man finds desirable. Food is something that she orders on an app. Cleaning is something that she only does for herself. And those two things are the man's job after she sinks her claws into him.
Hello, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you here. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut If I Break Up With My Fiance After She Showed a Startling Change of Behavior After Getting Engaged? I, male 32, just recently proposed to my girlfriend of 2 years, Sharon, female 30, like a month and a half ago. And it feels like the second the ring got on her finger, her attitude and behavior took a total 180. The entire time we were dating, we seemed exceptionally compatible. At least it seemed we shared common beliefs and morals. 7 weeks ago, I proposed and she said yes, and I felt like it was the happiest moment for the two of us. But not even a week later, it's like her attitude totally flipped.
She changed her attitude because she was putting up a massive smokescreen for 2 years. She conned this guy into marrying her, and now that she got what she wanted, she didn't feel the need to lie to him anymore. It's that simple.
I thought I knew all of her friends, but one day I came home and there were 6 women I've never seen before, and Sharon introduced me to them. I was curious as to why I was just now meeting them when I already met Sharon's 2 best friends, Michelle and Octavia, both not present. Over a year and a half ago, Sharon said she wanted to make sure that we were a sure thing before I met her inner circle. What, getting engaged means you're a sure thing?
Her inner circle consists of clearly single women who are hell-bent on also keeping her single. It wouldn't be surprising if they were telling her exactly what to do and say to trick this guy into proposing to her.
I found this strange, not to mention it was a weeknight, and they were quickly draining my wine rack. Sharon still had her own place, but she stayed with me so often she practically lives here. Still, I found it incredibly rude when they left with 4 empty bottles of rosé in their wake. I tried to talk to Sharon about having uninvited guests on weeknights, and she dismissed my grievance very flippantly. More, that she brushed me off. The following week, she went out with the girls several times, and when she brought the girls to my place, twice without notice, once with notice to appease me, her words.
Massive red flags right here. She takes his home for granted, she disrespects him by going out with the girls, and she finds him annoying for wanting to know if there are strangers in his own home. Sometimes it takes an expensive ring to get a woman to show her true colors.
They all treated me like a butler, shaking their empty wine glasses at me for refills. Time out, because look, if you brought the girlies home and I was available, I'd butler for you because I love you and that's what I would want to do. But if some bitch starts shaking an empty wine glass at me, get out! Out! No, leave the glass. Put the bottle down, put the glass down, and get the out. More wine.
What makes this story even worse is how his fiancée wasn't sticking up for him. She had no problem with her friends disrespecting this man in his own home by treating him like a servant instead of a man.
After the fourth time, I made it clear that I will get a locked wine rack. Sharon just called me no fun after that. It gets worse. Sharon decided that me and the girls got off on the wrong foot and said that we should have dinner together at a nice restaurant. You know that means that she wants you to buy them all a very fancy dinner, right? Well, I went, and it was not great. The six kept prodding me about my life, my house, my career, but they deflected every question that I asked. It got especially bad at night when they started talking about modern relationships and jealousy, and one of them brought up some key points about relationships that I thought Sharon and I were on the same page about, specifically what-ifs regarding polygamy and being friends with exes. To my shock, Sharon said that we shouldn't be too hasty on such decisions, which was a total 180 to how she expressed herself on these things only a month prior.
Polygamy is honestly just a modern woman's excuse to hook up with the man that she finds attractive, while also siphoning resources off of the man that she doesn't find attractive. It's really quite disgusting.
Where she was vehemently against keeping ex-intimate partners in friend circles and was staunchly monogamous. The worst part was when the bill arrived, Sharon announced it should be together and slid me the check. I told her she can't be serious, and we got into a bit of an argument. I ended it by putting my amount down in cash and walked out, leaving them to figure out the rest of the bill. The next days after that, Sharon kept calling me toxic and fragile, but every time I pushed at it, she would give me an apology and promise that she was just stressed at work.
It wouldn't be an engagement to a modern woman without gaslighting, deflection, and just avoiding accountability. This kind of behavior should never be tolerated.
It's nuts. We haven't even planned the wedding yet. The worst part was this Monday when at work I got a Nest doorbell alert, checked and saw Sharon and one of her 6 new friends arriving at my place, going in and exiting with my golf clubs. This set was a gift from my father, and it cost a pretty penny too. So Sharon lending it out with my permission got me pissed. I immediately called Sharon and told her and her friend to return the clubs. Sharon tried to gaslight me with, "But you promised to lend the clubs to her boyfriend, remember?" I told her the club's cost would move it into a serious crime, and her friend had an hour to return them or the cops would be called.
There is no way that this woman had no idea how protective he was over those golf clubs. He would have made that clear the moment things became serious, but she just doesn't care. She just assumes that his property is also her property.
Sharon kept insisting she got my permission, and I told her to cut the crap. Well, not 45 minutes later, I got another notification of Sharon and her friend coming back with the clubs and going inside, leaving them. Sharon's friend flipping off the Nest doorbell on the way out. I got home and saw Sharon's friend literally just threw the clubs and bag on the living room floor. Sharon tried to talk to me about my toxicity again, and I told her again to cut the crap. I said if I knew this is how she was, I never would have proposed. That seemed to freak her out, and she again insisted that she was just stressed at work, but I wasn't buying it anymore.
It's awfully convenient how her unacceptable behavior conveniently lines up with her work stress. Even if that were true, which it definitely isn't, by the way, it's still no excuse. She's old enough to know how to behave like an adult.
I told her to return the ring and her key, and we would talk about our relationship this weekend. She cried, and she begged me not to cancel the engagement and insisted that it was just stress. I told her again that we will talk about it this weekend. She finally relented. I had my house rekeyed anyways after she left just to be safe. Sharon has been texting me constant messages of love and apologies for getting swept up and insisting she was only wanting to show me off to her close friends. Is that what showing you off is like?
What's funny is how she honestly thinks that he's going to buy her horrible excuses, even if she wasn't clearly lying. What kind of a man wants to be shown off to a group of ungrateful single women?
I don't know, I'm just not buying it. The same close friends have been sending me texts daily calling me toxic and fragile again, saying they knew I wasn't man enough for Sharon or secure enough to share with her friends. Share? A few of my friends that knew Sharon the entire 2 years we were dating were surprised and can't even believe she turned Hyde this quick, and that there must be something missing or that I'm leaving something out. They said I must have said something to trigger her friends to act like this, and I had to have been the somewhere along the process. I don't know. It's a lot to take from all directions right now.
Of course, his friends would take her side and tell him that he did something to bother her, because we live in a time where all women are innocent of any wrongdoing because it's always a man who drove her to be terrible.
Before we get into the top comment and some additional information here, the friends being like, I don't know, you must have done something to this up. Be like, hey, you, by the way, like you just did something to this up. With that assessment, yeah, it's got to be your fault, right? They wouldn't just be like this. Now, these friends were always like this, You didn't get introduced to them until after you put a ring on it.
It's frustrating how a man can lose his friends and family over something like this. Context doesn't matter. All that matters is the word of the woman involved. His word means absolutely nothing.
And then she somehow took that as, you're my now, and treated you like her in front of her friends because that's what they think is cool. And apparently to be man enough to be with her, you have to be and be willing to be treated like and let her friends do the same and just take from you. It's all good. That's being man enough for them. Cool.
It's insane how these women think that it's perfectly fine to disrespect men in front of her friends. The approval of people who have a vested interest in keeping her single is more important than the respect that she has for the guy.
Top comment, oh, no. Dude, you need to end this relationship. She has been putting on a false front the whole time. She knows how toxic they are. She figured now that you had proposed, you couldn't leave. That's who she really is. The person you dated for 2 years, that's a false front to get the proposal. It's like abusers who never hurt their spouse until after they're married. They know that they need to hide it because they know it will drive the partner away. They wait till the commitment is deep enough. She showed her hand too fast and too early. Agree with that. Kick her to the curb immediately. Call her out on every gaslight.
It takes an obscene amount of work to put up a front like that for 2 years. That means she was literally lying to this man about her intentions and feelings this entire time.
Every time she cries and says she's stressed or whatever, ask her why she lies 100% of the time in front of her friends then. If she's telling the truth, they can come over, and in front of her friends, she will for the whole evening disagree with them on polygamy, open relationships, your role, they need to be open, etc., etc. Tell her if she's just stressed, she must be willing now to call them and openly admit all of what she was saying with him was untrue, or this is who she is. She gave you a pleasant fiction when you were alone, and it was easy to hide. Now you see who she chooses to be, who she wants to be. Dump her. Move on. Date Michelle.
This woman honestly thought that after she got engaged, it would be impossible to break off, so she did a complete 180, thinking that he has no choice but to keep her around, but she forgot that an engagement is easier and cheaper than a full-on divorce.
Date Michelle? Where'd Michelle come from? Oh, one of the OG besties. Yeah. Who, NTA, brother. Am I the astronaut? If you broke up with her after she did this 180, NT freaking A. What do people expect? Yeah. She got too comfy too quick. Too comfy too quick. I'm going to go out on a limb here and also say Sharon has been married before. Sharon's divorced. But she treated her husband like this. This is what ended their marriage. And she was just looking for someone else to take up this role.
Unless it's under extreme circumstances, if a modern woman was previously married, then that's a red flag. If she couldn't make it work with one guy, there's very little chance another guy will make any difference.
Take up the same role. And it's not so much of finding the right person. It's finding the person who has the means that she's looking for and is willing to put up with the amount of that she wants to give. That's all it takes. You clearly are not that. Also, bravo for you, and I'm actually going to green flag you here, OP, because you actually didn't around. You put up boundaries immediately. You're like, hey, you return those freaking golf clubs or I'm calling the cops. That was a boundary. It had consequences attached, and you were serious about it, and they brought that back.
This is why it's incredibly important for a man to stand up for himself the second his woman tries to walk all over him. You cannot tolerate that level of disrespect and still expect her to be a good woman to you.
It doesn't matter if she threw him. It doesn't matter if she flipped off the camera. That just shows you the kind of people she's friends with. The kind of people she chooses as her inner circle should tell you a lot about who she is. Yeah. I mean, if people change like this, don't stick around. Don't stick around. Don't do it. The problem is that he was 2 years deep into this before he found out who she really was. And I feel like that's a common thing too.
2 years is a long time, but it's better to find out before the wedding than afterwards. A divorce would have cost him significantly more than just 2 years of his life.
We're single moms. We act like we're strong, independent women until life requires tasks that a man should do.
Let me help.
Where's your father?
We're single moms. We act like we're happy for each other when we get in a relationship, but secretly we want it to fail.
We're single moms. People ask us how we lose weight, and I say divorce and grief with a side of coffee.
Divorced single mothers end up losing a bunch of weight and start to care about their looks only after the divorce because they now have an excuse to be as irresponsible as possible.
We're single moms. We take turns scheduling mental breakdowns on the calendar.
Yours was last week.
It's my turn.
Let it go.
We're single moms. We complain that there's no good guys out there, but then once a good one comes along, we self-sabotage.
We're single moms. We don't need a dating app.
Women like this straight up hate each other. They don't care about their own happiness just so long as they can keep everyone around them as miserable as they are. But anyway, guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Drop a comment and I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you take care of yourselves, guys. Peace.